Did y'all know that? See, y'all have that Yankee in you, didn't even know. Okay? I'll skip the green light stuff. And I'll skip this stuff too. Now, the creation of Old Enfield is somewhat interesting. Old Enfield was founded by Richard Niles Graham, R. Niles Graham, who was E.M. Pease's grandson, and his cousin, W. Murray Graham, who was a member of the Austin City Council. And they formed a business venture called the Enfield Realty and Building Company. And they used land from the Pease estate that they eventually ended up subdividing to create residential neighborhoods in Austin. Now, what they helped innovate is one of the techniques of post-Reconstruction racial inequality in southern states. It's not just southern states, but especially true in southern states. And I'm speaking specifically here of restrictive covenants and deed restrictions. If you take a look at the deed restrictions for these neighborhoods, in Austin neighborhoods such as Enfield or Pemberton, or even Travis Heights or Barton Hills, what you find is that they have racially exclusive language in there. The old ones that are original to the R. Niles Graham venture still say in there, blacks cannot be here except for servants. Okay? That's still what they say. And that was really the first effort to try to depopulate that part of the city of its African American population. Because remember, Clarksville was still an important neighborhood in those years. So what you see here is that the Austin schools, the Austin public school system, wanted to put a Negro school in Clarksville to service the children of that community. And Graham and his family were influential in killing that venture because of the negative effect it would have on their real estate aspirations. Okay, thank you very much for your kind attention. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a lot of information that I ended up having to skip because this is a long lecture. Governor Davis asked for help from President Grant on numerous occasions. You can read about the modern interpretation of Reconstruction now in Texas history in the works of people such as Carl Moynihan of the University of Arkansas, who's written a wonderful brief history of Reconstruction in Texas. But basically, Edmund Davis asked the federal government for assistance. He wasn't the only Southern governor to do that. And what did President Grant do? President Grant wouldn't send the troops, leaving the Southern radical Reconstruction governments to fend for themselves. From an African American perspective, that was a betrayal of the price the North paid in order to win the Civil War. But, it was a difficult period in American history. I can't right now do justice to the complexities of the matter. Suffice it to say that if African Americans had been given 40 acres and a mule and had been allowed to keep their property and were given full civil rights and full equality under the law, which is what they wanted and what radical Republicans wanted, American history would have probably turned out a lot differently, and we wouldn't have had 100 years until the 1960s before these things were corrected. Because remember, federal troops were sent to the South again in the 1960s. Any other questions? Okay, we're done? All right, thank you much. Thank you.